Well, hello and welcome to the Neil's Appeal podcast.
Hey, how y'all
Hey,
doing?
hey,
How y'all doing?
we
Good.
doing well.
Marriage, relationships, and other stuff. Y'all, we here. We done changed our scene again. Y'all know we moved, and so we still trying to figure out what part of the house we gonna be on to do this, and so we still working it out. Just trying to get our setting okay and all right for the best view we can get. That office room, it was kind of tight. We had to come on from up out of there. But I just want to thank y'all for coming on, joining us today. How was y'all's day today? We're gonna give everybody a chance to like, comment, and share. Y'all
Day
get
was
on that
great.
Facebook page. Y'all told people come on to the show. What y'all did? Y'all gave a flyer out today. What y'all did?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
shut it
we
out.
we we sung it out. We did a little something. We got it. Gotta find it on the Facebook and
Yeah, so it's
share.
on Kelly. I haven't really got my Neil Appeal page set up right yet. So it's
Mhm.
on my Kelly Franklin Neil page, my personal page, and then y'all can find us on YouTube at the Neil Appeal Show. At the Neil Appeal Show.
Okay.
Honey, I couldn't figure out if I was doing a show podcast. I didn't know. I was setting this stuff up. Look, listen, I was being obedient. The Lord
You
said, do
trying to be
this.
obedient.
Listen, I don't even know what I did, but I got show on one, podcast on the other. Honey, listen, just type in the Neil Appeal. You should see it pop up. That's the most important part.
Sounds like a plan.
So y'all like, comment, and share.
And you said on Facebook it's on your personal page.
Yes, on Facebook it's on Kelly Franklin Neil. Mm-hmm. Y'all looking good.
Thank you.
Feeling good.
Y'all looking good too.
Yeah, that's how you look all fresh and clean after work.
Yeah, yeah. That's cause you blessed with a job that allows you to be yourself at work.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on then. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I like that.
Love it.
Let me get this lighting. Let me make sure this good. Y'all looking good. We got to look good too now.
Girl, if you ask me, I'm a little too light bright. Just have to deal with it.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, y'all. Listen, we got Sebrun and LaKeyia Branch with us on today. We are super excited. Listen, y'all, they have a story. Do you hear what I'm saying? We want to again welcome you to the Neil's Appeal, marriage, relationships, and other stuff, where we're cultivating kingdom relationships, not our way, but the king's way. And we know everybody's saying no kings these days, but there is one king. And we're here to remind you that he still reigns, still restores, and still rules with love. And we gladly honor this king. And we welcome this king to govern our lives. And that is none other than King Jesus, y'all.
Yeah. Man.
Amen.
They saying no kings, but no, we we want this king.
It
And
ain't
now,
the one that we want. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, before we dive in, we always like to remind you that we're not counselors, we're not therapists,
but we can coach
but
you.
we can coach you. We got about 26 years in this game, so we know a little something. We don't know it all, so along the way we're learning as well.
I agree. We are in the same boat. Learning and growing together.
Absolutely,
Right. That's
absolutely.
right.
Yeah, we're simply two kingdom believers just sharing real conversations, much needed conversations about, life, love, and lessons learned. Just hoping that something we say helps somebody along the way, along your journey, right? And so y'all know how we do it. We like to loosen things up with a little bit of fun first. So you know what we get ready to start off with, the most likely to, right? We're gonna play this game right quick. Sebrun and LaKeyia. You know, with the most likely to, you just have to point right quick. Point to whoever fits the statement best. No overthinking, no explanations. Well, unless you want to, unless you feel so compelled that you must explain. So let's jump into this most likely, because we got a lot to cover tonight. Y'all got a story and we got to get this out here. All right. Y'all ready?
We ready.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. I can't see y'all good. Hold on. All right. You ready, Fred?
Yeah, I'm good.
Who is most likely to start a deep conversation at 1 a.m. in the morning? Who's most likely to make everyone laugh during a serious moment? Oh.
She said she was gonna point at him on that.
You said that. You said Okay. Let's say, who's most likely to pray first and process later? Dang.
She's being prophetic.
Look here, you saw my questions already.
No, I know him.
Who's most likely to remember every detail of a story and run it back like it's a movie?
Okay.
Yeah, Fred don't like that about me. He'd be like, yeah, that's too much detail.
Let's get to the point.
Who's most likely to turn a car ride into a full concert?
You already knew the answer. Come on, Kel.
I didn't think he was going to get much points, so I had to put.
I'm talking about a conversation. A conversation turns into a full concert.
Yeah.
All right, let's get here. Who is most likely to take the longest to get dressed?
She's being disingenuous.
It's me, actually. It's me. I'll be honest.
She's being disingenuous.
And that's to church. That's to any way you just
anything.
It's
me.
Yeah. I don't know what that's.
I get distracted.
Oh, you okay? Yeah, you get distracted.
Yeah,
that's easy. My mom used to get up and wash clothes and
like I get distracted. If I get up early, I think I got a little more time, so I'll get to doing something else, and then I realize time done pass me by, and then I'm rushing to get ready.
And then we be late to Bible class. Used to be late to Bible class every Sunday. Be like, Ma, you done got up and did chores.
Yeah, cook breakfast, wash clothes, everything. All
right, I got a couple more. Let's see here. Who's most likely to apologize first? Oh, that's nice. See, you know, most men, they struggle with that.
Yeah, no problem with it.
I'm so grateful.
No problem with it.
Who's most likely to be looking for their phone when it's right there in their hand? You know, look here, let me tell you something. I done did it, the Bluetooth be on, and I be like, I'm looking for my phone, and be like, oh, I'm on it.
Listen, I had my phone.
I don't even know if that's funny no more.
I know. I had it on my ear, and I kept saying, baby, I can't find my personal phone. I got my work phone, but I can't find my personal phone. He said, baby, you own your personal phone. I was talking to my sister on the phone, but I was looking for the phone. I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know. I think I'm getting old.
Nah.
It's happened to me.
Yeah, please not say that. Please not. Let's say
it's
got a lot going on. That's all.
Yeah.
Seriously, my mind just be too busy.
See, she talk on one phone and be on social media on the other.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's see here. Who's most likely to be wrong?
Wrong?
Yeah.
It depends on the situation.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's a hard one. That was a test. I was just trying to see something right there. I like this couple right here.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
I like that was like.
In all honesty, we both have our share of flaws. We both have the tendency to be wrong about some things, but we will admit that we're wrong.
I will say this: most of the time I'm wrong outside of the argument. Most of the time she's wrong in the argument.
Wrong outside of the argument, wrong inside the argument.
Right. So I might be wrong. I might do something wrong and be wrong in what I did or said, but we ain't arguing about that. But what we arguing about most of the time, she's wrong. In the wrong.
Wow.
Well, listen. We are just so grateful, thankful for y'all coming on again, being able to be vulnerable with us. Y'all have an amazing story. As I was talking to running stuff back with LaKeyia the other day, my mouth was just dropped open. So I just want to thank y'all, because people don't normally like to talk, right? Especially involving or allowing other people to see in the window. And I just think transparency helps people. It helps other people, because you never know who's going through the same thing you may be going through, and you never know who you could be helping, right? So just want to say to my viewers, the audience, tonight we are sitting down with a couple whose journey has stretched their faith, tested their yes, and revealed just how intentional God can be. We got Sebrun and LaKeyia Branch, and they have walked through loss, blended family challenges, ministry transitions, and miracles that only make sense when you look back and see how God was carrying them the whole way all along. So their story is honest, it's layered, and it's full of the kind of faith that doesn't fold. So I want us to jump right in, y'all. Can we get going on let's start with y'all's love story. I need you to tell my audience how long. What you say, LaKeyia?
I got a message that says the page ain't live, so they can't find it.
The page ain't live. Wait a minute, devil. I'm on here. Let's see. It says live. It's here. The Kelly Franklin Neal.
It's on the YouTube is live, but the Facebook ain't.
Ask him now.
What about now? Let me check. Text him back.
Excuse me, y'all.
We gonna wait for this. I see it on the Facebook page.
Can you share it from your page?
Who I'm sharing it to? How you do? Who I'm sharing it to?
I'm not seeing it. When I go to your Kelly Franklin Neal page.
You see Kelly Franklin Neal is live now.
Yeah, it's not showing that it's live here.
Yeah.
And it says live on my page right now. Oh man. I hope that hasn't been.
See, when we look it up, it's not showing that you're live.
You're supposed to just be able to log on and see that.
Right.
It said right there. The check is checked up there. It's checked up there.
Yeah, I see it's red up here.
Yep, 13. It says 13 minutes ago. We on. Look. That's my Facebook.
You must not be my friend then, but I'm always on the call, so
yes.
I know. Well, let me share. Can I share it to you right now? What's your name on here?
Look, Alvin says he's on the live page. Okay.
Hey, Alvin. So can I share? What's your name on Facebook, LaKeyia?
LaKeyia Branch. LaKeyia.
There you go, right there. So I'm sharing now. Boom. Did I do that right?
It doesn't
Hey.
matter. They said they logged in on YouTube now, so it's okay.
Hey, while I'm in here, I'm going to click this like button and the love. All right. I just shared it with you, I think. Yeah. Okay. Maybe they not my friends.
Oh, and that would suck, wouldn't it?
It shouldn't matter.
Because they're missing an awesome friend.
Wow. Maybe they not my friends. That's not good. We gotta get down to that. So they on YouTube. Can we go?
Yes, we can
We
go.
good?
Let's go.
All right. So I want y'all to tell us how many years you've been married. How did you meet? What drew you to each other in the beginning? Let's just give us the relationship of Sebrun and LaKeyia. Whoever wants to talk can go ahead on top.
Well, we've been married for going on 23 years now.
Okay.
We met at church, actually.
Amen.
The very first time we met, I was a young buck, and she was a young adult. And I saw her at church. She walked up in there with this yellow flower dress on, and I said to myself, "That's a nice looking woman right there. I think I'm gonna go holler at her." But there I was, not knowing what I was getting myself into. But I had the confidence of a lion going into a pack of hyenas. So I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, what's your name?" She said,
"Sister."
I didn't say sister nothing.
She didn't say sister. Okay.
And she said, "My name's LaKeyia." I said, "Hi, LaKeyia, how you doing? You look beautiful." She said, "Oh, thank you." Then I said, "When we get married?"
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's the first thing I said to her. Yep, when we get married. And it took her by surprise, of course. Tell them what you were thinking.
I said, my response was, "Mary, you don't even know me." And he came back with what at the time was, in my opinion, the corniest thing he could have ever said, but it stuck with me. He said, "But I can get to know you if you let me."
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I buckled Tuda in the car seat, got in the car and rode on back down the road. But the whole time that I'm riding down the road, I'm thinking to myself, who that little dude think he is? He don't even know. How he gonna approach me like that? And then talking about I can get to know you if you let me. I'm like, okay, whatever.
But you were intrigued.
I was.
I
was really trying to brush it off, right? But he's so persistent that after that, I'm at my grandma's house. We're about to eat Sunday dinner. And who comes through the back door with my uncle from church?
He's trying to get to you.
Right. So he is just that determined. So he comes over for dinner and my uncle, and I'm like, I go to my uncle, call him in the back room, how you call him to the meeting. I said, "What you bring him over here with you for? I don't like him." And he was like, "He ain't over here for you. He with me. He came with me." And I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." But the more we talked to each other and the more of them Sunday dinners he showed up for, it became very interesting. And ironically, we were already both seeing other people, but we became good friends. And then time went on. He graduated high school. He started to buff up and look different. And our relationships kind of went sideways, but we were still cool.
Right.
Even though the people we were talking to, those relationships went sideways. And then it just went from there. He just was like, "Hey, you want to go to the movies?" And it went from there.
Yeah. So Sebrun, when you went to the house with the uncle, you knew you were going to LaKeyia's family house? Oh, you set that up. It was a setup.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
I'm persistent when it's
Yeah.
something that I want and something that I'm seeking and really trying to get a hold to. Yeah, I'm pretty persistent. So I just wanted to make sure she saw me.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure she saw me, not some little boy, right? So
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I showed up.
So funny he's saying some little boy, but that was actually what I said. I kept telling my uncle, I don't like that little boy. I don't like that little boy.
So you're older than him, LaKeyia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why you
5 years.
didn't take him serious because you're five years older than him. You was like, little boy.
I don't like that little boy.
Yeah.
And it's funny, my stepdad actually told us. He actually told me, he was like, that's gonna be your husband. I was like, no, it's not. No, ma'am. He cool, but nah.
Well, we got the proof right here. So that's that. It looks like that's your husband.
That's my husband for 23 years, November the 30th.
23 years.
So come on, let's jump right to it. So let's jump right to it. Y'all got married, but there was some opposition there, right? Because Sebrun's mom did not approve of you, did not want him to marry you, probably your age, and you just mentioned Tootie. That's my girl, by the way. I love Tootie. You already had a baby, LaKeyia. So walk us through what that was like, trying to understand where his mom was coming from. Like what was that season like for you with knowing, again, you were a little older and you already had a child. How did you navigate dealing with knowing that you weren't the chosen one in her eyes?
So I guess you could say hindsight is 2020. At the time, there was no understanding of that for me. Like, it was no comprehension of it. It was no acceptance of it. It was just the blatant, to me, fact that she didn't like me or she didn't think I was good enough for her son. So, but then I guess you could say the difference was the fact that her son was persistent and loved me, like, no matter what. And he expressed to her those things. So I was like, okay, well, he willing to at least stand up for me or stand up for the fact that I am who he desired to be with. So now looking back at the situation after all things have taken place and our relationship has gotten better over the past few years, I can see it, I guess you could say, from a mother's perspective, considering the fact that she herself had met Sebrun's dad after having a baby. And she probably could relate to the difficulties and the struggles that it puts on a relationship or on a marriage. And maybe it wasn't that she didn't think I was good enough. Maybe she kind of thought that that was just something she didn't want her son to have to experience or deal with. But needless to say, that conversation has never been had as to why any of those emotions or feelings were there. Yeah. Because her darling son has matured me to a level of not seeking an apology or an explanation and just letting go and loving like Christ. So because of that, our relationship has truly matured and gotten a whole lot better over the years.
Right. Of course, there was also the element of at that particular time I hadn't yet truly started my life career, things of that nature. So I'm pretty sure there was some pushback on why are you doing this now? Why are you not trying to establish yourself first? And all of that stuff. So all of that stuff kind of played a part in it. as well as, it's just the mother factor. The mother wants the best for her son, and she didn't
Right.
feel that was the best for her son.
Well, let me ask you this, because she didn't want you to marry her, but you did it anyway. So I
Right.
want to know, how did you manage that tension of protecting Kia, right?
Mhm.
Protecting Kia's, but yet still honoring your mother. How did
All
you
right.
how did you manage that? Like that's tough. You in the middle of that.
Yeah. It was tough. It was tough, but it wasn't very hard for me to say that, this is what I'm going to do, simply because I was of the mindset at the time that I wanted to be a man. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to get out of my parents' house and establish myself as a young man. So I was more driven to do that, more so than to just, uh, I guess, pander to or cater to the thoughts of my parents. And my father was all supportive of it. Me and my father talked all the time about things like that. So he understood where I was pretty much the whole time. But my mom, it took a little while for me to actually say to her, "Well, Mom, this is what I'm gonna do. I love you. You'll always be my mom. You'll always be, that for me. But I'm looking to take on another life. So this is what I'm going to do." And it took me a while to say that, but I mustered up the confidence to do so.
Wow.
So even down to the extent that his parents had to sign the marriage certificate, because at the time he was under 21. He
Yeah.
wasn't turning 21 until that next month.
Yeah.
We got married that November the 30th, and his birthday was December the 26th. So his parents had to sign.
Mhm.
Dad said, "We're signing." Mom said, "I'm not." Dad said, "Yes, you are." So they did sign the marriage certificate, but Mom said, "I'm not coming to the wedding."
Oh, wow.
Dad said, "Yes, you are."
Yeah.
And she came and she participated and she was cordial, and they did the rehearsal dinner as the son's family do. I mean, she did all the things
Yeah.
Wow.
because she loved her boy.
Mm.
Yeah.
But recently she has expressed to me that she loves me and she loves how much I love her boy.
Come on.
So, I mean, so what's the time span in between the relationship, the building of the relationship between you and Mom?
Woo!
Wow.
It's been a long time. I if I had to honestly say, the relationship has come to its greatest point over the past 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So y'all were married well over 20 years before she actually.
Before it actually came full circle.
Wow.
And I think it was more because I was waiting for an apology. I was holding on and waiting for, I kept saying to myself, like, because she's always been nice to me. She's always been kind. Okay. But in my mind, I'm constantly saying, how's she gonna just keep acting like nothing ever happened? Like,
Yeah.
how's she gonna just keep approaching me like we got this great relationship? Like, she didn't just hurt my feelings, like I wasn't good enough for her boy. But after Sebrun matured me past that and the seeking of an apology and all of that good stuff, and I let go, the relationship has, oh my God, like it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Also,
So
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. You good. You good. Go ahead.
Also, it probably would have been a lot sooner, but there were other factors that factored into the slowdown of the mending of that relationship or cultivating of that relationship. So, I mean, those things had nothing to do with us, but there were other factors as well.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Like Sebrun's dad passed, and then she started dating others and all that. So then the relationship just kind of got rocky in and of itself. But
Right.
the love has always still just like been there. And
Right.
even it's really funny. In the beginning of our relationship, I was always referred to as Sebrun's wife. You know,
Mm.
that's Sebrun's wife. That's Sebrun's wife. Well, it eventually matured, and now I'm her daughter.
Come on.
I'm not her daughter-in-law. Now I'm her daughter.
Come on.
Mm.
And it used to be that she would call my phone and say, "Can I speak to my son?" Because if you know anything about Sebrun most of the time does not answer his phone.
Mhm.
If you need Bay, you need to call me or text me or Facebook me. So she would call my phone and say, "Can I speak to my son?" And you know me, y'all got to pray for me because I'm still under construction. And, I've gotten a whole lot better. But back then I used to say, "Your son got a phone?"
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Like, you called my phone. You didn't even say hey.
Mm.
But it got so much better. And now she calls my phone to talk to me.
Come on,
And
Mom.
now I'm serious. And I'll ask him, "You talk to your mom today?" And he'll be like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, she called me 3 times." Like, I talked to, I'm like, I'm winning. She'll call me and be like, "Hey, I ordered something. I want you to come down here and see it." I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
That's a good feeling. I know.
But I look at that Sebrun's wife, kind of what we talked. You guys kind of joked about last night about somebody such and such church. Let's not get into that. But
Yeah.
Sebrun has always been like a marquee song leader too. So you know what I'm saying? So I look at it from the standpoint, okay, this is Sebrun's wife, you know what I'm saying? So she's somebody. I'm looking at it from a positive standpoint.
All right, I like that too. I'm winning both ways.
And so I mean it's good that I'm saying now she calls you or whatever, and I'm saying y'all kick it or whatever the case may be or whatever. But I mean, he's always been a song leader for us as long as I've known him, you know what I mean, or have heard about him, Sebrun. So he's the marquee song leader, whatever. So that's Sebrun's wife. So I look at that as being, almost on that first lady type deal standpoint. So
Yeah, and that's the way a lot of people treated us.
that's the way I see it.
That's the way, and it's funny you say that because most of the time in the church, period, for the most part, when people see me or introduce me, they'll say, "Well, that's Sebrun's wife."
Yeah.
Well, that's Sebrun's wife.
Yeah,
Sometimes I want to have a name, but I'm okay with it.
I'm somebody too.
Yeah, I'm like, I do got a name, but I wear his title too. I'm okay with it.
I know the feeling, so I'm Kelly's husband, so I'm
See, come on.
I'm cool with that.
God did it though. God did
It's
it.
all good.
So let me ask you this. Y'all brought up Sebrun's dad passing. So y'all had gotten married and he passed shortly after that,
Yeah,
right?
3 years.
3 years. And LaKeyia, you said that y'all had a good relationship.
So he was my dude, right? So when he passed away, I would tell Sebrun, I would find myself crying to Sebrun and say, "Ain't no way your mama gonna like me now." Like, he was my only plug. My plug gone. Sebrun was like, "Baby, come on now. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna happen."
And that factored in too with the long drawn out holdout on the rebuilding or the constructing of a relationship too. I'm sure, and I know my mom enough to know that she felt like she was losing both the men in her life. So, it took her a while.
Yeah,
She dealt with that grief. So.
I get that. Sebrun, I'm proud of you. Yeah. And LaKeyia, I'm proud of you because like Sebrun was saying, you keep waiting for an apology. You may not get an apology. You just gonna have to forgive. And so the fact that you were able to forgive without the apology, that speaks volumes for you and your growth too, because it's a lot of times we are not going to get the people that have hurt us in the past. They're not going to come back and say, "I'm sorry," And so can we still love and forgive like how God asks us to love and forgive? So I'm proud of both of y'all for that. I wish I had hand claps I could put in the chat or something. I'm proud of both of y'all for that. So listen.
But secondly to that, though, God judges you for how you respond to
That's right.
The insult. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm still learning that portion of, forgiving folk when you set yourself up to expect an apology. Yeah, you probably do expect deserve an apology, but at the same token, just give them some grace, and maybe time will heal and work itself out to where they will come back like she did and apologize to you.
And that was one of the things that Sebrun was saying. He was like, to be honest with you, as long as you holding on to that, you blocking your own forgiveness.
That's right. Like, that's right.
You got to move on. You got to move forward.
And my thing has always been this: love big with small expectations.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, what was
I'm trying to get there?
It's a lot harder to be disappointed that way.
That's right.
That's true.
I was just about to ask y'all, give us some wisdom for some other couples that may be experiencing complicated in-law stuff. And so what you just said, Sebrun, that was right on time, Yeah. And what we were talking about the other day when we were like, you just got to be the bigger person. And what did you say, Sebrun, about that bigger person?
You don't have to be. It don't make you a bigger person. It actually makes you small. So that God can be big in that situation.
Come on. I love it.
So it was just, and that would be if I had to give a bride some advice on some struggles with mother-in-law situation, I would just encourage you to let them see the Christ in you, like love them like Christ.
That's it.
Because if you do that, it's going to outshine anything that they could possibly be feeling, and it's going to change the way that they feel about you.
Right.
Because they're going to see the goodness that's inside of you because of the showing of Christ, and they gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
I get that. Let's jump to parenthood, right? Because LaKeyia was already a parent. Sebrun, you didn't have any children. You married, and voila, the blended family right there. And we used to see y'all back in the day, and Tootie just seemed like she loved you from the start, Sebrun, actually. Well, am I wrong, Kia?
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
That was getting on my nerves. Look, that was getting on my nerves.
Even to the extent that she has said from inception, if you and my daddy don't work out, I'm staying with daddy. You can leave.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, and at the wedding, I also married Tootie.
Yes, you did.
I gave her a ring. And I told her that I always be there for her too. So that was one of the things I wanted to make sure she knew and understood. And that's the way it's been.
Now this picture right here, Tootie was how old? Autumn was not here yet, correct?
Tootie was 16.
Tootie had to be 16 then.
Tootie was 16.
Wow.
Yep.
16, and y'all start talking about a family and starting back over again, because I'm sure, Sebrun took Tootie under his wing, but every man wants their own seed, right?
Right.
And so talk us through, LaKeyia, you got a 16-year-old. You marry a younger guy who may want children, and so y'all start trying.
So I'm going to say that we started trying in 2005.
We started trying harder.
Yeah. Started trying harder, 2005.
Because we tried immediately, but we just thought maybe something wasn't working, right? So we wasn't really sweating it. But in 2005, we really started
intentional.
Yeah, intentional.
Started being intentional.
We got intentional about it. And we had some difficulties. We went to some doctors, exhausted all resources. We did in vitro twice.
Yeah.
We experienced 4 miscarriages. The last one was very difficult. even to the extent that they told us to never try again because it could possibly end in Sebrun having to decide me or the baby.
Mm.
Or I couldn't make it to the hospital in time, like he got me to the hospital the last time in time. So it was really, really rough. And of course, going through those type of situations and the trauma that comes along with it and the emotional distraught that comes along after it and all of that, of course you can imagine that it strains any type of relationship. So we had some aftermath to deal with, and it caused some turmoil and some frictions and some regrets and some insecurities and all of the things.
Yeah.
You and here's my thing. You had Tootie already, so I was like, why was it take? I remember being a part of that. In on actually understanding that y'all were trying, and it was like, what's the problem? You got a child already. What?
Yeah, you was a part of that prayer group, friend.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was very, very.
Yeah,
So
we were just being told. I think ultimately we were being told that endometriosis had set in,
Yeah.
and she just could not carry, from one place to the next, right? So, I don't know. It was really rough. It was rough because we both really wanted a baby badly. So, um, we were dealing with at that time. I was dealing with the grief of my father passing as well, and and not being able to conceive. So it was tough, and she was dealing with the same thing, but she was also dealing with the insecurity of not being able to produce, for her husband. So it was really rough. We did a lot of stuff that we probably would have never done if not for that situation. And a lot of those things were not so good, but God brought us through it, and God saw fit that we needed a change, we needed a shift, and we need to be put in position to trust Him.
Yeah, you went through two in vitro. IVF is not no cheap thing. Y'all went through two. Y'all went through
Yeah.
2 rounds, and Fred, they insert eggs, right? And they normally do more than one because you want to make sure it takes. LaKeyia let them people put 6.
Yeah.
At one time. So that means she
And so
could
the possibility was you could have none, you could have one, or you could have up to 6.
What you call that? What's them called?
I have no idea.
Sex
Sextuplets, I think.
Sextuplets, right? What y'all?
The only good part about the sextuplets, I think, was something like if you have that many kids, you automatically got some type of lifetime government assistance or something to help with the kids. I think that was like the only plus to it if it had happened that way. But God didn't see fit for it to happen that way. And it's ironic that it's not ironic. I can honestly say that during this whole process of seeking doctors and going to doctors and doing all said tests and exhausting all resources and money to accomplish our goal.
Yeah.
We can honestly both attest that we probably never once consulted God. Would that be a fair assessment?
That would be fair.
Yeah. We were completely driven. We were completely driven with finding ways to make this happen in our own power.
Yes. So if we had to give some advice, especially to those who are believers, believe in the one that gave you life.
That part.
And
He'll give you life.
He will give you new life.
Wow. Wow. So y'all was just, you like, listen, this how it happened. You lay down, this how it go. This, we married now.
All the things.
We married now. Why is this not happening? You got teenage pregnancies, and now I'm doing it the right way. This can't happen. So now you start pointing blame and pointing
You
fingers.
sound just like me, girl. I was crying. I was like, see, Lord, and now I'm trying to do it the right way, and you won't even do it for me. You got folks throwing babies in the garbage dump every day. And
That's
here
right.
I am. I'm trying to have a baby. Was I not?
Yeah, you're right.
I was crying, like I was fighting. I was wanting to beat him up. He was just trying to comfort me. I'm just pushing him away, like just leave me alone. I was like, you know what? I got one even better for you. Why don't you go find you somebody else? And we can just resolve our relationship, and I'll say that I was the one that messed up. Blame it on me. Say I cheated. Do whatever you want to do. But from me, I free you. You're free to go.
Yeah.
And he was like,
You see how the devil get into
spiritual warfare. That's spiritual warfare right there.
When you ain't giving,
I'm serious.
When you ain't giving what you're dealing with to God.
That's right.
I'm dead serious.
The devil will creep in
every time.
So just imagine our thoughts. She just expressed what she was thinking at that time. Imagine my thoughts at that particular time when I'm being who I am, and I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing, and I'm trying my best to be the best husband I can be, the best father to Tootie I could be, the best man I could be, provider, and trying to do all of this stuff, and the devil just coming in all sorts of ways to try to tear it all up.
Yeah.
God had to shift us.
And Sebrun, she thought it was, LaKeyia thought it was a good idea. Like, remember when Sarah said, go sleep with.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm dead serious. I told him that.
Yeah.
Wow. She thought it was a good idea.
Mind you this. Everything that we're dealing with, everything that we're struggling with emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, we are not talking to anybody. We're not talking to our preacher. We're not talking to our family. Not my mom, not his mom, not my best friend, not my sister, not his, absolutely nobody. We are in our house, in our own room, trying to deal with this, all of these emotions, all by ourselves.
Yeah. So many late nights, so many nights of no sleep. And then in a lot of those years, I was working overnight. So it was a lot of stuff going on.
A lot.
So your communication as a couple was affected. Y'all were at odds with each other because that's the perfect way for the devil to just come in and tear that up.
Oh yeah.
And his mama would have been sitting there saying, I told you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
One thing for certain, one thing at the end of all of the emotions, when we would calm down and actually listen and hear each other, we would both come to the agreement and the conclusion that we loved each other and wanted to be together.
Right. That's when Sebrun told you, I don't care if you don't have a baby.
I don't have no kids. I'm good.
Right.
And I'll say this, man, look. We need to understand the power of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
We really do. The Holy Spirit is not a joke. The Holy Spirit is real.
It's real. Yeah.
And if you don't have the Holy Spirit in you, man, you will make some decisions. I promise you, you will never be able to recover from.
Seem like you won't bounce back.
But I praise God and I thank God for the little bit of Holy Spirit that I had in me.
Right.
That I could still speak life to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though I was going through so much as well, I could still speak life to her.
Yeah.
And I could still deal with me. Even though I was making mistakes, even though I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, saying stuff I shouldn't have been saying, I was still able to deal with me and speak life to her.
Come on.
As the head of the house, I was still able to be a light for her.
You was definitely what I needed.
You know, and it's funny how God works, because later on she started becoming that for me.
Yep.
Mm.
The role had to switch.
Mm-hmm.
And because of what he had poured in and given me, I was able to give it back to him.
Yeah.
Right, because he could have easily, when you went into your depression and wouldn't get out the bed and stuff like that, he could have easily said, I'm out. I can't, you know,
I can't deal with this.
I can't do this. I'm not set up for this. Most men are not equipped to handle that.
Yep.
They don't know how to handle that.
You know, a lot of times we thank God for doors that he opens for us, but you know, we should be thankful for the doors that he closed.
That's right.
So right.
That he didn't give us, you know, because the timing might not have been right.
That's right.
Baby, I'm telling you, we laugh all the time and say we thank the Lord for the unanswered prayer.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
What we thought we wanted.
That's right.
Give me the time period that it took from, okay, so y'all got married, you start with the in vitro, you're taking the temperature, you're doing all the things. How much time passed before Autumn came?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Now, walk us through. Come on. Walk us through. LaKeyia, come on, give the phone call. The phone,
okay.
Walk us through the finding out, because y'all had done given up at this point, right?
So we had given up, and God, this was a transitional period. We were like at our wits' end and at a rock bottom, and Tim Smith from Huntsville, Alabama, Tim and Michelle, they called Sebrun about being a youth minister in Huntsville, Alabama, at an inner city church. And at that point, like Tudor was fixing to graduate high school. We had given up on having kids. So we was like, okay, well, it'll be good. We'll have time to devote to a youth ministry, you know, with other people's kids. Let's pray about it. Let's do it. Okay, so we prayed about it. We did it. We get over there. We start working, all of the things. And we come home for a holiday. And my monthly friend didn't show up. So we get back to Huntsville. And I'm a complete wreck. And I tell Sebrun, I'm like, baby, I really think that I am. And he was like, no, baby, it's okay. You just stressed out. We do a lot. Like you done threw your body off. It's okay. But we stop. I'm serious.
You even take me down that rabbit.
He was like, no, baby, it's okay. So we stopped at a dollar store on the way to work, en route to work. We stopped at a dollar store. And we walked through the dollar store. And they didn't have no pregnancy tests on the shelf. We were walking out the door, and the lady said, well, can I help you find something, ma'am? And I said, well, I was looking for a pregnancy test, but y'all don't have any. She said, yes, ma'am, we do. We just have to keep them under the counter because people come in and steal them. And I was like, oh, okay. So she was like, which one you want? I was like, which one you got? She said, well, we got one that costs $1 all the way up to $39. And I was like, well, if I'm pregnant, it's going to show whether I spent $1 or $39. So let me have 2 of the $1 ones. So I got the pregnancy test. We went on to work, didn't take it. So in the evening time, Sebrun would go and ride the van to pick up the kids from the schools to come back to the learning center that we did. So I took the pregnancy test, and when the first one came back positive, and I ain't believe it, so I took the second one. It came back positive too. So I laid it on his desk, and when he came back, he looked down and he was like, is this real? And I was like, yeah. So I'm hysterical at this point. But there was a doctor that Cynthia Malone had been trying to convince us to come to in Huntsville while we were experiencing all of the miscarriages. But we kept saying we didn't want to commit to a doctor in Huntsville and have to drive 3.5, 4 hours to a doctor's appointment all the time. So we never called the doctor. But I called the doctor that day and asked, were they taking new patients? And the lady told me, no, he was not taking new patients. And I broke down and started screaming and crying. And she was like, ma'am, what's wrong? And I was like, well, you don't understand. See, I've already had 4 miscarriages. And now I'm sitting here with a positive pregnancy test. And everybody telling me that Dr. Lewis is who I need to see. And you telling me he not taking new patients. So she was like, ma'am, can I have your phone number and I'll call you back? So she got my number, but she didn't call me back. He called me back.
Come on.
Yeah.
So when he called me back, he was like, ma'am, how soon can you come to the office? And I was like, I don't know. Where's the office located? Well, come to find out, the office was literally 2 blocks away from where our church was located. So we literally had to only go 2 red lights to get to this man's doctor's office. So we leave, we go to the doctor's office. They got me hooked up. They drawn all this blood, et cetera, et cetera. And he comes back into the room and he tells us that if we're not praying people, that he's not the doctor for us. And we were like, well, of course we pray. He was like, because every appointment that we have will begin in prayer.
Yeah.
He said, because I am only a man. I can't give you a successful pregnancy. That is all going to come from the Lord above. Now, I can do all things that I've been trained to do, but there's only so much that my training can do. He said, so technically your test results show that there's absolutely nothing medically wrong with you that says you can't have a baby. So what I'm going to say is your body is treating the fetus like you have an infection because it's been so long since you've been pregnant. And it is clotting your blood and stopping you from having a successful pregnancy. It stops the blood flow circulation. So he prescribed me a bare aspirin, a baby aspirin that I took every day.
Yep.
Every single day. 1 10-milligram aspirin. I took it every day until the day she was born. And I never had any complications. Never.
Wow.
Not a one. Never missed a day's work. Worked up until I went to the hospital. We left work at 5:30, went to the hospital at 5:45. She was born the next morning at 9. Like, absolutely nothing went wrong during that pregnancy. Even to the extent that it was so perfect, I was supposed to have my tubes tied the next morning. And he was like, ma'am, that was so easy. Don't you want to do that again? I was like, no. We good. I thank you, Lord, for the one.
That is amazing that man said, listen, if doctors don't say that, if you're not a praying.
And here's what's
right.
so weird. Mind you, we told you all the times we were going through these miscarriages, we never consulted God. But here we go. We got a doctor that comes in and say, remind us of what we already were supposed to know. He comes in and says, the only way that this is going to be made possible is if we consult God every time you walk in the door.
It was like, duh.
That's right.
God just threw it back in our face. And he was like, see, you exhausted all your money trusting somebody else to do for you what I can do for you if only you let me.
Come on, teach the lesson.
When we don't have sense enough to put ourselves in position for the blessings from God, he will position us in a spot where our blessings can flow.
I was just like,
and that's exactly
you have to be kidding me.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
So autumn comes along. That was good, Sebrun. Autumn comes along. Now Tootie is
headed to college.
Yeah.
Can you stay on that right quick? Because so y'all moved from Mississippi. I don't know if they said that from the beginning. Y'all moved from Mississippi to do this work just for this little season. Yeah. They moved from Mississippi. I don't know if y'all they missed it, Fred. They missed it. They moved from Mississippi just for a little season. They didn't know it was about to be just a little season. But the baby was born because this is the doctor that Cynthia Malone had been telling you about that you need to get to. That it's a 3.5 hour drive. I'm not thinking about that. but the work is why you got to Alabama.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the oldest here, Tootie, always wanted to go to University of
Mhm.
Alabama. Is that right?
That's right.
Yep. University of Alabama at Birmingham.
And we did not. We kept telling you're not going to school there because we're not paying no out of school tuition. But God shifted us.
Out of state tuition.
Yeah, the out of state tuition. So God shifted us to Huntsville
just for that season, for that moment.
We didn't realize it at the time. We did not realize it. But after leaving Huntsville and coming back to Mississippi, and we sat down and we laughed and we cried and we prayed, because we have some tremendous relationships from the work in Huntsville, and that work is continuing to flourish. I think it's the Lakewood Church of Christ, with Tim and Michelle still, and it is soaring. And the relationships that we cultivated there are still connected and amazing. And it's so weird that it took us coming back to Mississippi to realize that was just for a season.
Yeah.
That was to get us our autumn.
But you had to obey.
Yeah.
You had to obey in order to get like Sebrun just said, you had to be in position to receive the blessing.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He put us back in alignment with what his purpose was for us.
It was crazy.
Because a lot of times what we do is we go out and we sort out these things that we want to do in life. We have these ideas, these aspirations, these plans, and we never consult God.
Never consult with him.
We pray, and we say, Lord, help me do this.
Pray for what we want,
right? But we never say, Lord, what do you want for me?
Right.
Father God, what do you wish? How can I better suit your kingdom? You know, what is it that you want me to do that will help uplift and upbuild your kingdom? We never thought about that.
Never.
This is awesome to me, because again, the obedience is what had you in that position, and the fact that you're not even in Alabama still anymore shows that God's timing is his kindness. God's timing, if we would just but obey. He was taking you to the doctor, and he was letting your daughter get her wish, her desire.
And she's still in Alabama.
Right.
We came back to Mississippi and left our baby over there.
And I'm gonna tell you, the powerful thing for me was the level of turbulence that we were experiencing here before going to Alabama was, for us, it was unbearable.
The level of turbulence, meaning the people not wanting you to leave, the
things that we were going through,
just in our relationship,
in our relationship, our marriage, just individually, we both were going through individual things, pains, regrets, resentment, all of these things that we were dealing with. That level of turbulence was so heavy that it was unbearable for us. And when God did that, when God made that move, it didn't just allow us an opportunity to be in ministry or to have a child. It changed our lives.
It did.
There's a name for a term that we use when somebody prays for you. What is that term called?
Intercession.
Intercessory prayer. You know, I was listening to a guy that mentors us, and there's a such thing as intercessory faith as well. Obviously, someone had more faith in you guys than you had in yourselves.
Agreed.
That doctor for one.
You know what I'm saying? That doctor for number one. I mean, how many doctors? I mean, you know, these guys are in the business of making money and what have you. So how many doctors are going to say prayer first? I'll say, okay, so this is our guy. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny you mentioned money.
Yeah.
Listen to this. We had a standing appointment at his doctor's office every Thursday.
Wow.
Every Thursday, that man did an ultrasound on me, and we never got a bill.
Never paid a dime.
Wow.
Every Thursday.
That's intercessory faith.
God.
I mean, think about Lazarus when he was dead.
Yeah.
When Mary and Martha was waiting on Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Jesus, you know, they went out and Sister Rock and say, hey man, had you brought your dusty foot,
you been here,
Lazarus wouldn't have been dead. But guess what? Lazarus is dead. So Lazarus doesn't, he can't have faith.
That's it.
It was because of his sisters that had faith in Jesus that, that he would, would be revived.
That's right.
Yep.
That's intercessory faith. I had to learn that for myself. Okay, we all know there's intercessory prayer, but that intercessory faith.
I believe it. I believe it because even to the extent that even now, if I have doubt in a certain thing that we are about to do, but he believes in it for me.
Right.
And he continues to pray about and encourage me while in it. It's like, okay, I feel my strength coming. All right, I can do this. Yeah.
That's right.
So it's like he helps my unbelief.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
That just proves that we're all connected.
That's right.
As a community of believers, we're all connected, and we can't do this thing without each other.
No, you can't.
That's why I love y'all's platform.
You say what? Say it again.
That's why I love y'all's platform.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's connect it. Yeah.
Yep.
I needed you to repeat that. So listen. Let me ask you this. So Tootie is all right. So the baby's born. Tootie is in college. So she's 17, 18 years old, right?
18 years older than Autumn.
So let me ask you this, because sometimes when siblings are that far apart in age, they can either be super close or they're getting on each other's nerves, right? And so Tootie seems to be so absolutely in love with her and adoring her little baby sister, right? So with that 18-year age difference, what has been the dynamic for them between the two of them? Like, did their bond develop instantly, or did it grow as Autumn got older? Or were they just always, was that Tootie's little baby? Because they are so.
It was instant. I think it kind of happened in the reverse of what you just asked. It was instantly just absolutely wonderful, right? But as Autumn got older, because Autumn is so intelligent and she picks up on things so well, and she's so articulate and she speaks her mind. As she got older, then things had started to get a little bit, like that big sister, little sister type deal. Yeah. But I mean, early on, I know at least until Autumn got about 10 or 11, Tootie's, she still loves her to death. She still eats her up. But oh man, she was really so in love with Autumn.
Yes.
So it's really funny because originally she was distraught.
Yeah.
Originally, Tootie
found out I was pregnant. She was distraught.
She ain't the only one no more.
She was depressed because she wasn't gonna be the only child anymore. And once she found out it was a girl, it was really left field. Like she was pretty.
She wasn't daddy's little
She
girl
was pretty okay when she knew there was a possibility that it could be a boy. But when she found out it was a girl, she went really left field. Like she didn't want, it was her daddy this and her daddy that and da da da. But then once Autumn arrived, she was the complete opposite. She doted on Autumn. She loved her to death. But as like Stephen said, the older and the more mature that Autumn got, she became more of a challenge because she's very challenging. Like you have to, and then you got to understand too. Tootie was, I guess you could say, Tootie was our, I don't know how you would say it. We was learning when we had Tootie. We were still growing up too. So we wasn't perfect parents. We didn't do everything right. We didn't have a manual. So then, you live and you learn. And then now with Autumn, parenting style is different.
Yeah.
So then Tootie is like kind of to a certain degree resentful. Like she feels like Autumn might get away with more or whatever because we parent different. Like you pick your battles. You realize that what maybe once you thought was so important ain't just that important, and it ain't worth beating nobody over. Okay, you dropped the glass and you broke the glass. Okay, let's just get it up But back in the day, if you dropped the glass and broke the glass, is what the heck are you doing? Why are you even in the kitchen anyway? So those things kind of probably may have strained their relationship a little, and the distance that's between them as far as their ability to be with each other all the time.
Right.
They
Right.
love each other to death. They respect each other, and their relationship. I love their relationship. So they have these group messages that they talk to each other outside of us. And if she feel like she can't talk to me and Sebrun about something, she knows she go to her sister. That's her safe place, things of that nature. So that warmed my heart as a mom, that she could say she got two mamas.
Yeah.
When we moved Tootie to college, everybody was telling Tootie, "Oh, your parents so nice. They gonna keep your baby for you to go to school."
Oh wow.
And Tootie was like, "That is not my baby. That's my sister." So I guess but their relationship it's amazing to watch. And I tell children, they love each other more when we ain't around.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Always been. It was. She just adores her, and I could see that in that. So somebody said the word move. So let's jump on that right quick. So let's talk about saying yes to God when the move hurts, right? So y'all been at the church in Mississippi for Sebrun. You were since 7 years old.
7 years of age, yes.
Right. LaKeyia, you came in. You was there for a long time too, even though you were in your teens. And so tell us what made this move so difficult for y'all. I know like family was considered. You said the hardest part was worrying about, the impact on your family, right? So what finally gave you the confidence to say, yes, Lord, even when the cost was high? What the cost was high, and how did this decision grow your faith as a couple? Because now Sebrun's Gary move into a whole different lane. Like Sebrun's known for, singing that stylistics high. Remember that? I can't even do it, but he's known for that singing, right? And so now
open
the floodgates.
Look at that.
That came on my feed today for it's amazing how algorithms work. You know what I'm saying? We talked to y'all yesterday, and I'm going, I travel throughout the day, y'all, and of course I try to get some stuff in between these ears when I'm traveling, whether it's a word or some some spiritual singing. And this dude came across my feed today, and I'm like, I didn't ask for it, it just came up.
That's
you know what
crazy.
I'm saying? I mean, I'm like, this is the Holy Spirit, man, just like you said earlier, man. I mean, that stuff is real.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
So y'all walk us through that, because Sebrun, you known for singing. What you behind the pulpit now? Go.
Yeah.
Well, you move it. You leaving the place that you grew up at and been at for so long. Come on, walk us through that.
So we moved back from Huntsville. We come back to the Grove, and we try to establish ourselves there as the youth ministers, right? So I try to come back and be a youth minister, but there were things already set in place. So we just got in where we fit in, right? Which is what we do all the time. It's what we do. And so we were asked to do the young adult ministry there at the Grove. So we did that to what we feel like the best of our ability. And then honestly, this is about 10 years later. 10 years later, the Lord started putting things in my mind about what he wanted me to do. I always knew that I was a minister. I never looked at myself as a preacher or pastor, but I always knew I was a minister, whether it be music or me just conversing with people, just talking about God and and speaking life to them. But at this point, it felt different. So we had a gospel meeting at the Grove, and we had Jonathan Morrison to come in, and he preached a sermon. And the sermon was about when you preached one sermon, it was about everything you need is in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So that resonated with me. Then he preached a sermon. I think it was that Wednesday night, and he was talking about embracing what God has for you. So after that sermon, I talked to him outside. We had a conversation, just a short conversation, not to be long with it, but just a short conversation. We were talking about just life in general. And he said, "Man, I always been watching you because I didn't really know him very well. I just knew of him from people going across the nation or whatever. But he said, "Man, I've been watching you since I was a teenager. We're around the same age." He's like, "Yeah, I've been watching you since I was a teenager, man. YouTube videos and things like that." I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah, man. You've always been a really, really good singer to me, man. But you always had this spirit about yourself." He said, "Man, I always thought that I'm like, this man, he could be a preacher." I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah, man. I always thought that." He said, "Have you ever thought about preaching?" I said, "No, I haven't really thought about it." I said, "I know people have always told me they thought I was going to be a preacher. They felt like I was already, built for it." But he said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Man, man, you really need to think about it if that's something that you feel like God is calling you to do." So I told him, I said, "Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like God has always called me to be a preacher. I just never felt like that's something that I wanted to do.
Right.
I never felt like that being a preacher was, something that I would actually flourish in." So he was like, he said, "Well, man, I want to encourage you tonight to go home, pray about it. And if God is calling you to preach, if God is calling you to pastor, you need to do that. You need to embrace your calling." He said, "I can see it in you. Even when you were singing tonight," he said, "I can just see the spirit all over you, man." He said, "And you need to embrace that." So that word that he gave me, it elevated what God was already saying to me. God was already telling me, "I want to move you to a different level. I want you to be doing something more than what you're doing." Man, I was comfortable. I was comfortable being
That's
a
the problem.
song. I was comfortable.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I was comfortable being behind the scenes, making things happen. I was comfortable. I didn't have to be out front. I ain't never been a person that had to be out front. I've always been humble. I've always been the type of person where I don't have to get the credit, for things. As long as God is getting glory, as long as people are being edified, God's being glorified, I'm good. But God said, "No, that's not enough. I want you to do something greater." And what moved me was not only that sermon, that conversation, but it seemed like for the next 2 weeks, because I was in prayer for the next 2 weeks, and I was even fasting and praying. And for the next 2 weeks, I received so much confirmation from what that brother spoke into my life that night and what God was speaking to me. I received so much confirmation through song, confirmation through other messages preachers were preaching, other messages that were on YouTube, from all kinds of preachers. I mean, Baptist preachers. When I opened my Bible, I was studying, and I was receiving confirmation through study. I was receiving confirmation through just through my day to day. Somebody would come to me and talk to me and say, "Hey, have you decided to preach yet?" Because I talked to one of my coworkers
They
and I
would say,
told him,
"Stop running."
I told him what I told my coworker. Told him what I told you guys that Jonathan said to me. And he said, "Man, have you started preaching yet?" And this was like a week and a half later. And I'm like, "No, man. I mean, I just talked to the guy 2 weeks ago." He's like, "Yeah, well, I'm just asking you if the guy came to you and he told you this, and God has already told you that you need to be doing something better for the kingdom. He even knew that I should have been trying to embrace that." So just several different confirmations. So what happened was, I was approached about I was actually no, that how it worked. So how it worked was, I was just speaking with Brother Ship.
You was approached about a job first, about you making those banners.
Oh yeah. So what it was? Okay, let me back up. Then I'm moving too fast. I'm trying not to be too long. But okay, so I was approached about doing some work, some aesthetic work, posters, banners, and stuff like that, right? For a local church,
Mm-hmm.
and that was before me and my wife even started our business. We have a business now that came about as a result of that. I was approached about doing that kind of work, so we was helping out and doing that kind of work, and then we started our business and launched it. And then the preacher asked us if we could do a website and all this stuff. So we were doing websites and posters, banners, social media outputs, and all this other stuff we was doing for that church. And a few weeks later, he told me that he was getting ready to leave that church and start a new work. He said God had encouraged him to start a new work because he was trying to do with him. He couldn't do it at that particular congregation because the leadership was not working with him, right? So he started a new work. But even before he started a new work, it was like we were both moving at the same time. Even before he started a new work, he was just comfortable with just visiting churches. Even though he was a pastor at one church or a preacher at one church, he was comfortable at just visiting churches, right? So we doing this work for him for this other church, and the Lord is moving him away from that church while the Lord is working on me, trying to get me to move, right? So I found out a couple of days, because it was 2 weeks, I found out a couple of days later that he had finally got a spot, a building, and he was gonna get ready to start the church, right? So then he after he told me that, I told him, I said, man, good. I said, man, I will be the first one there, to sing, right, for you for your first Sunday and your first worship service. He was like, yeah, man, cool. Now we ain't talked about nothing else. That's all we talked about, right? So then it was just beating me up, and I had to figure out what God was really saying to me. So I asked God specifically, because I was getting offers from different places. I was getting offers from different places to be song leaders, youth minister, young adult minister, youth and family minister, all this stuff. And I had told Doc I wasn't going anywhere. I said, man, look, I'm getting all these offers, I ain't going nowhere. So it was beating me up for 2 nights in a row. I could not sleep for 2 nights in a row. So I called Ship and I said, look, man, what is it that you got going on in One Direction? What's your vision? What are you trying to do with One Direction? He said, man, I just want to serve God's people. I want to be a church that goes outside the walls, go into the community, build from the community. I want to be a part of the school, get a part of the school systems, a part of just building the community. I said, and that sounds like something that I want to be a part of. So I left it at that. But then I called him back. I said, man, look, let's have a sit down. So we had a sit down at the Longhorn Steakhouse, and we talked it out. And when I left that night, I knew then I had the answer from the Lord what it was He wanted me to do. And I told my wife, I said, babe, we got to make a move. I said, I don't know when, but we got to make a move. And she was like,
she itching over there.
Same face. And she was like,
That's
okay.
how I look.
She was like, okay.
I said, okay.
So I said, okay, I don't know when, but we got to make this move. Now, all the while I was still dealing with the fact that I had to convey this message to pastor. I had to convey this message to my family. I had to convey this message to all these people that I have relationships at this church that I've been in church with for 31 years. So all of the relationships, the friendships, all of this stuff. So I tried to handle that the right way. I don't even know if it is a right way, you know, to say,
say
goodbye.
goodbye.
Yeah.
So I tried to handle it the right way to the best of my ability. But anyway, so I ended up setting up a meeting with Doc, and we sat down and we talked, and I just told him what I was thinking about. But I got a phone call from him earlier that week. It was like that Thursday. I talked to Ship that Wednesday. I met with him, and then I talked to Doc that Thursday. He called me on the phone and talked to me about it. He wanted to know what was going on, so we had a conversation about it. But we sat down and had a meeting. Him, myself, and my wife, and we talked about the possibility of the move, because it was just a consideration at the time. But
it was
so
later confirmed.
So we did that, and then it was later. And it was later.
My friend ain't want to be no preacher's wife. What
you said?
But the thing was for me, and I'm gonna be done with this portion of the story. The thing was for me, I was good. I was comfortable. But when the Lord is about to make you into something that He wants you to be,
come on.
When He's about to move you,
You don't be uncomfortable.
when He's about to shift you,
Yeah,
want to make where you are uncomfortable.
that's right.
I was comfortable, but it was so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable after I had that sit down that it was almost like I had no choice.
Right.
It was like I had no choice. I had to make a decision, and I had to make the decision to move.
He always puts us in that posture to where we always look up to him. When you're comfortable, you know what I'm saying? When things are going cool and everything is, copacetic, we don't, we don't think about God.
No.
That's why he keeps us on this.
We were actually functioning on autopilot.
Yeah.
It was so routine. We knew what we was gonna do. We knew where we were gonna go. We know what we wasn't gonna do. We knew what was gonna be said, what wasn't gonna be said. It was all just routine, and we were extremely too comfortable. We wasn't growing. It was like we was on autopilot, but we had plateaued. You ever been like doing a workout?
It's stagnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the way it was, and it's so weird. It's not weird. Well, the first Sunday that we visited at One Direction, Brother Ship's sermon was "Step Off the Ship," and the sermon was so
right on point,
so mind blowing. It was so over engulfing. It was just So when we got back in the car, Autumn was like, "So, Daddy, did you hear Brother Ship's sermon today?" And he was like, "Yeah, Pumpkin. I heard it. Did you hear it?" She was like, "Yeah, I heard it." And he said, "Okay, well, what was the sermon saying to you?" And she was like, "Well, Daddy, I take it as if the sermon is saying it's time for us to get out the ship. Get on the ship and get on the ship. We need to get on the ship with the ships at One Direction."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, and me and Sebrun looked at each other and we bust out the laughing.
Yeah.
But you know how the devil get.
Yeah.
So then that's when the devil comes in, and instead of us, and that, mind you, God then already gave Sebrun his vision, what he wants him to do. And we are in the transition of saying yes, right? But now here comes the devil, because the devil tells us that we need to consider Autumn. So it's like, well, Autumn, you're going to be okay leaving all your friends.
Yeah.
It's not really a lot of kids at One Direction. You're going to be basically the only kid for now,
Like Abraham and Lot.
I'm serious. So this the devil, right?
Yeah.
So Autumn like, no, I'm cool. I'm good with that. So then it becomes, well, now that Autumn cool, we got to consider other people.
Yeah.
My mama there, his mama there, his aunts there, our cousins there, my sister there, my best friend there, my uncle there. So now it's like, okay, so now how this gonna affect all of them?
Yeah.
And God is still saying, okay, and who got heaven?
That part.
Hello.
That part. That part.
You know.
So then we walk into this situation, right? And the first thing that we study is discipleship.
Mm.
And then we're hearing all these stories. We already know the stories, right? But
Right.
we're hearing them again over and over again, and they sound different now, right?
Ooh,
The story
Jesus.
about Jesus walking out to the seaside, and he telling the two sons of thunder, telling them, "Hey, leave what you got, drop your nets, and follow me."
That's right.
You know, and telling James and John to leave their father
Mm.
Zebedee and follow him.
Mhm.
All this stuff. So, you know, I was already feeling like Abraham, you know, leave your family and, you know, go to a far country, right? I was already feeling like that. But then to hear, you know, the story of how Jesus made disciples and how he told them to just leave what they got, just drop
right.
everything,
That's right.
to follow him. So this thing was really, really resonating, right? And it was really convicting because I knew that I had to do what God said do.
Yeah.
I didn't want to let go of the net.
Mm.
So I had to
Drop
embrace
your
that.
net.
I had to embrace that.
Because we really wanted to, I guess if you want to say, we really wanted to make everybody happy
Yeah,
in the situation.
we were of the
But
mindset of toggling between both situations.
Yeah.
because there was a way in our mind, in our heart,
Yeah,
there was a way that we could make both of them work.
no,
But God ain't everybody.
Lord
You
can't-
right. You right. But in our mind, we had mapped out a way that we could make both of them work, that we could still
You
work.
have mapped out a
You're
way.
right.
That's it.
You're
That's
right.
it.
And when we said the complete yes, God was like, see, y'all still trying to do
Yeah.
what it is that y'all want to do
Yeah,
because y'all still trying to please.
So he came through that with
People, trying to please people.
He just cut the net. He just cut the net.
And it was like,
We had to drop it.
bam.
I've been out of that. I've been long time ago. I've been out of that business of people pleasing. I never really, understood it, and I don't, I don't co-sign none of that now.
And so
Yeah.
gracefully,
Yeah.
the transition, the move has been life altering.
Yeah.
Life changing, sure.
In an amazing type way.
Mm-hmm.
Like challenging you to grow and study,
Mm-hmm.
holding you accountable, and just all of the things, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I can just be honest about myself. In the past 2 years, I've grown more and studied my Bible more in the past 2 years
Wow.
than I probably have my whole life.
Right.
Mm.
This reminds me of a story of a couple that you guys know them just like we know them. Y'all know them well, just like we know them well. It took for them to go what they went through. Both of them can sing very well, been all over the country singing or what have you. And so both of them know the word. But it took for them to go through what they went through.
Yeah.
In order for God to move them.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just like you can sing a lie just like you can tell a lie.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they are now speaking the word. They're into the word. It took for them to go through that for God to get the word out of them. They always had it in them.
That's
just
right.
like you see, minister of music, minister of music. Now, I know a lot of guys that can sing.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys don't
Can
minister.
Right.
Yeah.
When they're singing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I met you long time ago. Well, heard you long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude, he can sing. That's no question about it. But
yeah,
he's different.
Yeah.
And I don't want to call the individual's name because they're a little sensitive about that situation still. Y'all know who they are.
Yeah. We know.
But beautiful people. They haven't changed, over the years since we've known them. You know what I mean? But and it was heartfelt to us, for us, just like it was for them. And that place will never be the same, without them.
Yeah.
But at the same token, God is using them now.
I agree.
In a mighty way.
Yes,
in a mighty way.
In a mighty way.
And the question we have to ask ourselves when we're in that situation is, do we really believe?
That part.
Yeah, because what God did for us the first time he moved us away, he kicked us out of the nest. He kicked us out of the nest and said, hey, fly.
Yeah, fly.
Yeah. And then then we get back in the nest, right? Or we find us a new nest, or and then get back comfortable. And just like a mother eagle, she makes the nest uncomfortable. She scatters the nest. She put rocks in it. She put sticks in it so the baby is not comfortable back in the nest. So then you got to get back out of the nest. And so then after that, now you got to figure out how to catch the wind, because if you don't catch the wind, you won't fly. So this time around, God said, no, catch the wind.
That's right.
Catch the wind.
Look here.
The wings ain't strong, but catch the wind.
That's right.
And how important was that for you, look here? Because you around here saying, I ain't gonna be no preacher's wife. I ain't gonna be no preacher's wife. And
I did. I've always said that. However, I also had to apologize to him, because I've known, honestly, all of our life, all of our relationship, even when we were dating, that there was a special calling on Sebrun's life, that he's different.
Yeah, he's different.
And I don't say that because he my husband. He's different. And his everything about him is different. The way he loves is different. The way he teaches different. The way he parents is different. The way he husbands is different. Different, period. And I'm blessed to have him. Like, you got to be a real type of man to deal with me.
With any woman for that matter, black woman for that matter.
And he's truly different. And I've always known that he was truly going to be a minister. No matter where we go, he's ministered to people. People will call me. People would call me and say, hey, do you mind if I talk to your husband about something? I really need him to minister to me. I really got this situation going on and I need to be led in the right direction. And they would say, you could just put me on speakerphone. I'll put him on speakerphone. They'll talk Sebrun's ears off. His ears will be bleeding. And then he'd be like, dang, that was so much information, but at the end of the conversation, they would be like, oh, thank you so much for letting me use him. Thank you for letting me borrow him, So I've always known this. So then I had to apologize to him, because I said, if I have been the reason that you haven't accepted and embraced your calling, because I kept saying I didn't sign up to be no minister's wife, please forgive me.
Rightfully so, because it's probably more on the first lady.
That's it. Because honestly, if you step into it, and your spouse ain't wholeheartedly in it with you, it's going to be a real rough journey.
Yeah.
So growth, LaKeyia, it was growth for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all, this has been great. Something's going on with my Facebook, because this chat normally be going off. The only comment is me sharing with you. So
it's
I got
to figure out. I looked for it again. It's not on there.
I got to figure out, because this show telling me live right now. I don't know, but ain't nobody here.
It's not on there.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right. But I don't have the chat to go to there. But I want y'all to. I want to do our Neil appeal. I normally, read the chat and then come back and do the Neil appeal. But we talked about a lot today, right?
Yeah.
So based on everything we've discussed, what is one takeaway you want our audience to hold on to tonight? Whether they're trying to conceive, facing a difficult yes, navigating in-law relationships, or being called into a new season, whatever you want to speak on that give us. We talked about relocation, we talked about reconciliation, we talked about the losses, the miscarriages, and Sebrun's dad right after the happy moment of his life, tying the knot and coming in covenant with God's child. Give us something out of any of that or all of that we need to leave with our viewers.
I'll start by saying this, because I didn't really complete your question, but I can say it in this particular statement. Whenever you decide to say yes to God, there's going to be some opposition. And there was some opposition in terms of how people felt about it. There was some opposition in terms of how people responded to it. People were saying God ain't told you to do that. You know, people were saying you just doing this because somebody done made you upset, somebody done made you mad. People were saying that, you know, you just doing this trying to get back at somebody, or you just trying to be Mr. Big Shot or whatever, right? When you say yes to God, because God ain't gonna give you, He's not gonna move you unless He anoints you. So when you're anointed, that warrants pushback. That warrants opposition. Just like Nehemiah, when he was building the wall, it warranted opposition from Tobiah and Sanballat, you know, and even Geshem. But it warrants opposition because people don't understand a God move, because they're thinking with a humanistic mind, and they're seeing it through humanistic lenses, but they don't see what God is doing. So they can't see why God is moving you, why God is elevating you, why God is shifting you. So I would say to our beloved believers and audience, when God is moving you, there's going to be opposition, but you don't worry about the opposition. You just keep moving.
That's right. That's good.
Keep doing what God say do, and I promise you, it's going to pay off. A lot of times we look for different things. Like, you know, we look for monetary value. We look for success, the way that we see it as humans, but we don't understand when God is moving you, He's moving you because He wants to get the glory, not so you can.
That's right.
You know, so if He elevates you, if you do see success, if you do see monetary increases, you do see a total new life, new home, new car, whatever it is, it's because God wants the glory in that situation.
That's right.
So do what God says do, and I promise you, you will not regret it, and you're going to be free.
Yeah.
You're going to be free. And that's one of the things I think in our faith that we've lacked for so many years. That's the freedom of God.
Right.
Come on.
Freedom in Jesus Christ.
Right.
We lack that because we're so bound to tradition and so bound to rules and legalities.
That's right.
We forget about the freedom of the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
And what it feels like to be a part of the kingdom of God.
And all that stuff is added to you because you seek first the kingdom. And you didn't seek a church. You didn't seek you didn't seek a woman. You know, I beat myself up time and time again when I got into this institution, you know, Church of Christ, whatever the case may be. But people were ignorant enough to tell other people that you're going to hell because you wasn't in this, you know, this fraternity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I thought it. So I was just as guilty.
Yeah.
I wasn't, you know, jackass enough to say you're going to hell. You know, I just despise somebody who did that. But at the same token, I thought it. So just as guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah, based upon all the stuff that you just said, Sebrun, man. I mean, that's because you seek the kingdom first. You didn't seek, you know, a man, a woman, a church, a boy, what, you know, you seek the kingdom.
Yeah. That's good.
Now all this stuff being added to you. I want it all.
If I had to leave one thought, it would be, if you are in your relationship, whether it be that you're talking about your relationship with your spouse or your relationship with God, either relationship requires three things: commitment, surrender, and communication.
Yeah.
Stay in prayer with God. Communicate with your spouse openly, honestly, transparently.
Yep.
Express your feelings and don't let anything go unaddressed. But when you express your feelings, when you express whatever it is that is going on, you also have to be open and honest about whatever part you played in it, and work diligently together to seek resolution. So no matter what we went through, we found resolution together with each other and with Christ. We never had a counselor. We never had anybody from the outside into our relationship. Now that might not work for everybody. But I can tell you what does work for everybody. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was your counselor.
That definitely was. He kept us sane when we was insane.
That's right.
That's good.
Yeah.
And
And I just want to say, piggybacking what Fred said, he done called the people jacks, but they did the best they did the best they could with what, when we were all convicted, we were all speaking the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get into the word and you learn,
when you study for yourself,
you learn better, you do better, right? And so we love and appreciate the heart of it, but it's at what point do we like y'all had to make the decision to listen to God and hear God. You know, we've done a relocation ourselves. We had to move from, where we were. There's no way I would be able to be in my gift like how I am, still where I was. It's just wasn't there, So I listened to God. I moved with you. You think that was just happenstance? What happened with Fred and his job, and like it's all in His divine timing, in His order, His purpose, And we get so caught up in the things that we have going on and what we got to do, we forget about the Maker and what He has for us to do, right? We so worried about being our best version of ourselves. No. What's the version He has for us?
That's it.
And I think we missed that point and that mark. And I just wanted to just go back to that, like Sebrun, you said you had to make a decision. You had to understand that who you are supposed to be pleasing, and then everybody else, like Fred just said, seek Him first. Everybody else will fall in line. So I'm grateful that y'all were obedient. Speaking of obedience, we got your baby girl. I know this was a great moment for you, Sebrun.
Oh yeah.
How old was Autumn right here?
7 years old.
Oh, wow. 7 years old. Wow. That is awesome. Y'all, she is adorable. Look at y'all. She is absolutely adorable. And now y'all are grandparents.
Yes.
Grandparents.
So look here, I know listen, y'all are grandparents. This Tootie has a baby. Look here, let me ask you this before we go. I know we did the Neil appeal, and that's normally the last thing, but I just gotta know. So you yourself, we know Sebrun's mom, she had a baby before marrying Sebrun's dad. You had a baby before marriage, and voila, we have Tootie, right?
Right.
Girl Tootie. So I want to know how did you navigate supporting her while also processing your own feelings? Because Sebrun's mom, she had her hangups for why she didn't want you to be married, and part of that was because you already had a child, right? So when Tootie became pregnant, how did you personally handle that moment, as a mother?
Here's what's so funny about this. It's quite not really comical, but quite comical. Okay, so my lovely daughter Tootie, she's if you know anything about her, she's a planner. Like she scripts out every aspect of her day. She called herself had a life planned out, all of the above, right? Yet I always said she didn't want a man who already had kids. Okay. All right. So mind you, her dad begged her to stop saying it. He was like, baby girl, please don't say that, because the very things that you say you never want, God will put that same thing in your life and you will have to deal with it. So like, Tootie, stop saying it. Stop saying it. And I said, well, Tootie, think about this, baby. What if your daddy would have said the same thing? He didn't want to be with me because I already had a baby. Like, where would that have put you? Like, you're grateful for him being in your life and stepping in when he did, So now, needless to say, she still didn't want to stop saying it. And then, bam, she calls me one day, and she don't say nothing. She just turns the phone around and lets me see the positive pregnancy test. I said, "Oh, okay. Well, congratulations." She was like, so that's all you got to say? I just be doggone. Like, I mean, I tried to handle it as gracefully as I thought I could. Like, I tried not to be emotional about it, and you ain't even happy about that. Like, she just said she had made up her mind that I was gonna go off. Didn't do none of the above, right? So then I came home from work. See, she thought she was slick. She told me while I was at work because she really knew I wouldn't respond. So then I come home and I tell Sebrun, and then she called herself, got in her feelings because I told Sebrun. She was like, but I thought I wanted to tell him whatever. So just a ball of emotions. But to make a long story short, I just tried to support her in any way that I can. Like, is it the ideal situation that we dreamed for her? No, because we tried to live our lives in a manner that was so transparent that we tried to strategically teach her how to not make the same errors that was made previously. So, like I told, I said, okay, all right, well, you did beat teen pregnancy. Woohoo, you 30, but and then her daddy, he just so cutthroat. He was like, well, it is what it is. It ain't no mistake. You grown. You knew exactly what you was doing. You got exactly what you wanted out of it. Now we just gonna deal with it.
That's right.
Bring my bam. It was just, and we just love on him, and we love her, and we just try to keep it moving. We support her when we can. We babysit when we need to, and even if it takes meeting halfway to pick them up or whatever, all of the things, whatever we got to do, and looking so forward to them coming home next week. Wednesday can't get here fast enough.
Yeah. Well, listen, y'all, I wanted to hear that because sometimes we could be so judgmental and hypocritical, and it's like, hey, ho, but at the same time, not condoning, still, like Sebrun said, hey, you knew exactly what you were doing,
Oh, and as far as supporting her through the pregnancy, literally, I was at almost every appointment. We was driving over there, and her doctor's office was an hour and a half away from where she lived. Wow. So we were supportive for all doctors' visits. He was there when he was born. Yeah. All of the above. Like, you're not alone in this. And
of course, we were hearing things, people around, they always got something to say, like they clean as tissue paper.
But,
it was all good though. God had prepared her for that moment.
Because one thing about it is, we were going to love her through it, but wasn't nobody else fixing to make her feel no type of way about it.
Right.
You picking up what I'm putting down.
Those of you who are without sin.
I'm like,
that's the first stone.
Yeah, I get it.
When most of us had our babies out of wedlock and then got married to hide it.
Yes.
So let's be real.
Yes.
So just moved her right on through it, and even still, just loving through all of the situations.
Well, look, Sebrun LaKeyia, thank y'all so much for sharing your hearts with us. your journey with us, being vulnerable. Y'all's story is just such a reminder that even when the yes feels heavy, God is still guiding, still aligning, and still carrying us through every season.
For
So
sure.
I just thank y'all for your transparency, your vulnerability. That's rare in couples, because on Facebook all we see is the pretty, all the pictures, pretty pictures I was showing of y'all's family and everything. We see that side, but nobody sees the underside. Nobody sees the y'all almost didn't make it. Nobody sees the you gave him the Sarah option.
Yeah.
No. Nobody sees that part, and so we need to hear that. We need to hear that it's real life. It's happening. It's still trials and struggles and traumas that we are not perfect, but we are striving for perfection and excellence. And whatever we eat, drink, do, we're doing for the glory of God, right? Keeping that in mind and understanding that this world is not our home. This is not the only thing we're living for. We do have to answer to the man above.
Yes, we
God
do.
above. So Fred, you got anything else?
No, I mean, this is Sebrun was saying, thankful for us, having this platform like this or whatever, but the church is not speaking this language, man. So somebody has to. At some point, I mean, this is reality. I mean, this is the stuff that people are dealing with, in life, in church.
Yes.
And it's not being addressed. And so it's just a language that we're just picking up and sharing with people, and we're just so thankful for you all, just being transparent and open to folk. You're real people. We know y'all real folk. And going through real life stuff, and things happen, and you just keeping God first and keeping it moving.
Yeah.
And we thank y'all for being obedient and creating this platform.
Yeah.
And trying to stick to it, Kelly.
Yeah.
Life gets a life in.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
And it's not just easy just coming on here. You got to prepare, and
that's right.
But that's what they had to prepare them nets too, didn't they?
Oh, did.
Right?
They had to
patch them nets
they
up.
already had them nets cleaned up.
No, they had to patch them up.
When they didn't catch none, they had to patch them up.
They had all of them. Jesus, we've been out here all night, bro. You talking about throw it on the other side? Man, we've been out here all night. We tired.
All night long and ain't caught nothing. And we know where to go fish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Problem is, you've been out here, but I haven't.
Hello. They was doing it without them. Like y'all started.
We done went broke. $22,000 2 times.
Wow.
To end up with nothing.
Wow.
Yes. So listen to everyone. Those of y'all that are watching that were able to catch it. I'm so sorry. I got to figure out what's going on with my Facebook. Because it is not even showing that we're live, even though it's telling me we're live. But to those that will watch it later and take a listen to this, we pray that this conversation gives you strength for whatever season you're in. We love you, and if this blessed you, just share it with someone who needs a little hope tonight or whenever. We love you all, and we'll see you next time on the Meals Appeal. Can y'all wave bye to our guests? Y'all hang out. We're gonna say another prayer before we get out of here. So let me play my outro, and then I will meet y'all back in backstage. Y'all wave bye. Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Love you too.